Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Get Marketing Savvy, the Basics webinar. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. And this evening we're going to look at all the pieces you need to put in place to build a high quality list of prospects that will be loyal to you for a lifetime. Plus, you're going to be surprised at how many of my recommendations won't actually cost you a cent to implement, which is always a bonus at the moment. So, yeah, whether you have been in business for years and have an already established list and want to just do a bit of a health check on it, or whether you are just getting started and have no clients on board at the moment, you're going to definitely find some great strategies tonight and some of my favorite methods to grow and get those all-important prospects coming through. But just before we get started, a couple of housekeeping things. And I think this week, for those of you who were with me last week, I've figured out how to see all your comments. But yeah, there is a comments box, so drop me a line, let me know you can hear me and say hi, which would be great. And I'm also recording tonight's session, so you're aware, and that will be sent out to you afterwards, so you can listen to it again at your own time and get all the tips and strategies. Okay, so let's get going. We've got quite a lot to get through, and I'm hoping we'll be wrapped up by about 8 o'clock, so let's see how we go. Okay, so just checking in on the MUD map, Get Marketing Savvy. So last week we looked at what is an ideal client and why you need to claim yours, and we talked of the importance of having that, one person that you focus on and talk to and tailor all of your marketing communications material to speak to that one person. We also talked about how to create a brand to remember and how to give yourself that competitive edge and develop your marketing messages so you become a potential client's first choice over the rest. And tonight we're going to talk about how to attract more prospects to your business and create more income immediately. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is, why do we need a list, or why do we need a list of prospects and people coming to our business? And it really is quite simple. Your list is one of the best business assets you can possibly have, and the way you're going to create more income when you've got it kind of gives you serious leverage. If you have a list of quality prospects and clients, you no longer have to wait for that phone to ring or someone to walk into your store. You can get proactive about your marketing activity, and that's where so many businesses, fall down. But no matter what type of business model you have, a list can become one of your most valuable long-term assets, especially if you build it correctly. And I'm going to tell you how to do that tonight. A perfect example is, the mistakes I see a number of business owners making is all they do is put the open sign up or unlock the doors to their business, or, if you're lucky, they'll put a board outside, telling people they're there. But then they'll wonder why they're not getting any results or the results that they desire. My local Indian restaurants are a classic case of this. The food is to die for, it's reasonably priced, it's just a great vibe when you go there, but it's always empty, and it's because no one knows they're there. So we have to start getting proactive about building our list and getting, some quality prospects to our business. We need to attract them so we can create that income and get the leverage that we're looking for. So there's 4 keys to consider when building your list. All 4 of them are here, but I'll take them one at a time. So the first is, where does your list stand right now? I want you to kind of change your mindset a little bit and think of your list as a completely separate entity from your business. Just like a baby, your list will go through several phases of growth, and one of my most valued mentors and an amazing entrepreneur, Ali Brown, advised there's 4 phases to your list growth. Now, phase 1 is a list of 0 to 30 people. So, you've just created your list, you've just started your business, you don't really know what you're offering, you still need to figure out your niche and angle and topic, but you're getting started. You've got a handful of people who is ready to hear from you, or who are ready to hear from you. Phase 2 is a list of 30 to 500 people. So your list is growing, but it's slowly. You've narrowed your topic, got a few key areas, but you're still not sure it's the right one. You're still figuring it out, but you're getting that momentum going. Phase 3, your business is really starting to rock. You've got a list of 500 to thousands of people, you've nailed your topic, you know who you're talking to, you've got a niche that works, and you're ready to take things up a notch. And I would say if you've got a list that size, you've got new clients, the income's coming through, but you want to go out there and get some more fish in the pond and more people coming through. You're ready to leverage a large list for even bigger increases in revenue. And the final phase, phase 4, is a list of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people. You know, at this stage, your list probably continues to grow because you've probably got that momentum and a lot of people know about you, and it's getting a little difficult to manage, so you probably implemented a list building system or software to manage it for you, but you want to start leveraging it wisely so you get maximum dollars per subscriber. So those are sort of the 4 phases of your list, and you know, I have no magic formula, unfortunately, for how long you're going to stay in each phase. You know, you might stay in phase 3 or 4 forever. For me personally, once I moved my business through the first 2 phases, it continues to expand within phase 3, and I sort of just stayed in that phase. And I'm always revisiting what my list needs and how I can better leverage it. You know, the one way I've just done that is launched my e-newsletter. So next week we'll actually go into how you create that leverage. But, you know, you'll constantly revisit your list. Now, the second key to consider when building your list is, I've got here, get clear on your 3 M's. So I always tell my clients that quality matters more than quantity. You don't just want anyone on your list for numbers' sake. You want the right people on your list, the ones that are likely to be receptive to your product and service offering, and therefore the ones likely to buy from you. So here we need to get clarity on your 3 M's, and they are basically your market, your message, and your compelling offer that's a match. So that's your market, your message, and your compelling offer that's a match. Now, last week's session took care of your market. You know, we really narrowed our focus and started to look at how we can identify who our ideal client is. We also looked at our branding and how we can use our personality to get that message that's going to resonate with our core targets. You know, so now we need to take a look at that compelling offer that's a match. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what's going to get them to take action and sign up to your list? So quite simply, you should have something compelling to offer, preferably free, to give to every person who signs up for your list. I'm sure, you know, you guys have been searching on the internet, you've gone to a site and they've asked you to give your details in exchange for something. That is the compelling offer. And if you've actually given your details, it means you're really interested in what they have. So some examples could be, you know, a newsletter. You could just get them to sign up to a newsletter, a free report, a free audio or e-course, or even a free CD or DVD. You know, it can be downloadable, or you could even mail it depending on, you know, how you're set up and what you do. But you would give that to each person who gives you their contact information. And it may seem a bit kind of outrageous for you to give something away physical in exchange for a simple mailing address, but you've got to begin to think in terms of building a quality list, and you must understand how valuable this permission to contact is to your list. You know, in the oversaturated market that we're in at the moment, opt-in requests are everywhere, so you have to do something extra to build that list and get you noticed. In my business, and if you've gone onto the Marketing Key International website, I currently offer a free ebook, the 8 Steps to Business Marketing Success, to everyone who comes to my homepage. And I'm about to actually switch that to offering a free CD to everyone who signs up for my newsletter. And I'm really happy to do this because I know how much my new subscriber is worth to me. You know, I know that someone who is taking the time to come to my site and look at what I have to offer is valuable. And this is the exact type of person I want on my list, because they're going to be more inclined to buy from me because they've taken that action. So if I just put it into context for you and give you a bit of an example of how valuable your subscribers are to you right now. So I'll just make these numbers up because I don't know what each of you are doing right now, but let's just say you mostly use the internet to sell your services, or you've got an internet channel, you know, ebooks, programs, lipstick, whatever your business is, you know, you could be selling clothes online, anything, and you have 500 subscribers on your list or on your database, and you make about $25,000 annually just from this online channel. So if you put it in that context, your list of 500 is worth $25,000, which means that each subscriber or each person that comes onto your list is worth about $50. So once you look at the value, it's a no-brainer to offer a free CD, which might cost you $1, to get $50 in return for them to be part of your list. So as we're going through this, start thinking about the value that that each one of these potential prospects that you're trying to attract to your business is worth to you. And that will help you, offer something truly compelling that will match what people are already looking for and what drew them to your site in the first place. So start thinking about what you could offer right now to people who are thinking about joining your list. Ask yourself, what can you give that's of high value that delivers high quality content? We're going to look at it a bit down the track as well to give you some more examples, but keep that in the back of your mind now, and maybe, tomorrow or after the webinar, sit down and think what you can do to leverage and grow the list. And it doesn't even have to be through online. If you've got a store, you can give out vouchers or cards, giving the same offer, the same free trial, the same free introduction to your business. We're going to look more at those strategies next week, but I've given the example of it in the online space, but there's a number of different offline ways you can use the same tool. So get your compelling offer that's a match down pat. So the next thing to consider when building your list is to use your personality. For those of you who joined me for part 1, we talked about how people buy from people they like and connect with. I know I've got my favorite places to go, and it's because I like the people, or I like the service, or I'm just used to it and it's familiar. So nowadays, business success is all about building relationships. I kind of say it's almost like you're courting your clients so they trust you enough to buy. Or to look at it differently, not only do they trust you enough to buy, but when they need your service, you're their first choice. So you've got that top-of-mind awareness, for whatever it is they might want, they automatically think of you, which is very, powerful. So nowadays, your personality is power, and it's a great way to get a differentiator because no one else can duplicate who you are. So when you use your personality and really put it out there, suddenly you just phase out your competition, and it doesn't matter if you're teaching the same thing as, say, 1,000 other marketers. For me, people will come to me because they like my style, but they'd go to someone else because they like their style. You no longer have to, worry about that competition, because people will choose to work with you because they prefer you over someone else. So there's something about your unique you that resonates with them, and that's the best relationship there is. So really use your personality when it comes to attracting people to your business and building your list and growing and making the offers. We talked a lot about this last time, but basically, if you're a really fun and outgoing person, make sure that resonates across everything you do. And if there's a part of your business that makes you sluggish, or you just think, oh, this is not my core thing, I don't want to be doing this, then pass it on to someone else to do it, or do it less, so you can just stay congruent with who you are, because that consistency and congruency is crucial in business success. When people come into contact with you, they want this, similar service every time. They want, that same approach. So if you're a happy, outgoing person and they rock up one day and you're all, depressed and sad, it will really change their opinion of you. So, don't be afraid to let your personality shine through, but make sure you're consistent with how you bring it through. And you want to shoot for a mix of being professional with being personal as well. So always deliver value, but feel free to share a little bit about, your latest holiday you've been on or going on, or what your kids are up to, or your pets, because it'll let your potential clients know that you're human just like them. You go through the same daily issues and stuff that they go through, and again, you'll strengthen that connection that you have with them. And the final key to consider when building your list is stop looking for the magic pill. I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but there isn't one. It really does take time, dedication, and hard work to grow and run a successful business. can't put it any other way. It just really does. And even when you hear on the news or TV or you're looking online and you hear, you know, someone made millions of dollars in 12 months, I bet they spent 10 years prior to that trying to nail the concept that made them the millions of dollars in 12 months, or someone's just picked it up. But I bet if you were to have a closed-door sit-down session with them, they all said it took, you know, a lot of hard work and dedication to get to where they need to be. The only benefit is if you know the steps you need to take and know what order you need to do them in, you can actually get there a little bit quicker, but you still got to put in the time and effort. I actually work with many clients who are looking for a quick fix. You know, it's a bit like when you go to the gym and you want to lose weight. I go to the gym and I was training with my trainer Phil, and he said to me, "What's your goals?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to lose all this weight and I want to tone up and I want to do it in the next month." And he was just like, "That's not going to happen," you know. So we have to be a bit realistic with our goals, and there's no quick fix. But I guess in business, we've got to remember that we need to actually find qualified prospects. Like it's quality, not quantity, because we want to get the ones who, you know, are that market message match. They really resonate with what we are offering. They meet that target client profile, so they'll be the ones that are more likely to buy, and we can get that all-important income and revenue coming through. And likewise, they will be the ones that will be loyal to you as well. So remember, there's no shortcut to building quality relationships with the people who will support you and all your ventures for year to come. You've just got to go through the process, take each step at a time, and make it happen. So as we go through the rest of tonight's webinar, just keep these 4 things in mind, especially that last one. You know, look at where your list stands right now. It doesn't matter if you've got, you know, 10 consumers on your list or 500. It's the quality of them and what you can get them to do that counts. You know, have that market message match and a clear idea of who you're targeting and what you're offering and what you stand for. Use your personality, because that's the number one way that you can differentiate yourself from the guy down the street who says he does exactly the same thing as you, because people will definitely buy from people they like. And stop looking for the magic pill. It is actually going to take, you know, a little bit of time and effort to get you where you want to go. It's almost like doing what we're talking about in this series is, you know, sowing the seeds, and then eventually they will grow and you'll be able to reap the rewards for the long term. Okay, so that's the 4 keys to consider. How's everyone going at the moment? Is it all making sense? Just put a little, you know, note in saying, yep, all fine, or let me know how you're going. I'll just have a quick drink of water. And I do know where the comments box is at the moment, so hopefully I will see everybody's feedback coming through. Okay. Everyone's happy. Thanks. Makes sense. All good. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll keep going because, like I said, we do have a little bit to get through tonight. Okay, so now we know the things you've got to consider. What are my top favorite ways to attract more prospects or get traffic to your business and get that list and lead generation machine going? Okay, so the first one is have an opt-in box. So I'm not going to go into the website components at the moment, but you know, my favorite ways to get the, you know, I'll assume for now, because we're not talking about online stuff, that you all have a website. And if you don't have a website, you need to have a website, because, you know, online and Google is the, you know, the new yellow pages. And your aim of the game when you're building your list is to build a list of people who know, like, and trust you more. You know, and I bet if you were to speak to, you know, 6- and 7-figure business owners, they'll tell you that their number one key to success is their list. You know, and it doesn't need to be huge, but it's important that we put the right strategies in place to capture it. So a website is an absolute must, and on that website, you have to have an opt-in box. So an opt-in box is the number one proven way to build your list, because It's simple, it's on your website, it lets you offer something of irresistible value to the visitor, and they can't help but give you their name and email address for the information. And once they've given their name and email, you have permission to start building that relationship with them. You know, I always say, think of it like this, like when a visitor comes to your house or a friend pops in to see you, you'll probably offer them a glass of water or a cup of tea or coffee, whatever it is. Think of your website as being no different. You know, offer something to build that relationship and rapport with them. So there is 7 elements to a successful opt-in box. I might just put all 7 up on the screen. I was going to do one at a time, but I think it'll be helpful for you to see it all in action. Okay, so the first is to have a headline for your offer. So you can see this guy here, he's got a pretty compelling headline, the 5 massive mistakes you're making in your love life and how to turn them around instantly. Now, that's going to get a bit of attention, isn't it? Especially if you're in that category, you're going to want to know what that's all about. The second one is have a picture of your offer. Now, you know, you'll see in the top one, he doesn't have a picture of his offer, but he's got a picture of himself. So you have to have either yourself in there or what it is you're offering. So the bottom one's got the CD. Brief copy about the offer is number 3. So, you know, the guy at the top says free special report and love life breakthrough quiz. The one down below says simple proven strategies to grow your business now, etc., etc. The fourth one is really important. Have the word free big and bold. So you see how they've both got almost first sentences, free. It's crucial. People don't really, you know, everyone's looking for value and everyone's looking for something for nothing. So this is, you know, talking to that part of their unconscious mind that's looking for that value. The 5th element to a successful opt-in box is a simple name and email form. So, you know, all you want is just what they've got there, a couple of boxes, because those are the only 2 tools you want. And next week I will show you what to do with those when you get them. Number 6 is a clear call to action button. Get started now, or subscribe, or sign up. It's something, you know, make it a different color, make it stand out, big and bold. That's going to say, yep, I pop that in, I click on that, and I get through. And number 7, privacy policy wording. So with spam emails and everything going around at the moment, people want to know that, you know, you're a trustworthy source, and giving you their information is, you know, not going to be harmful for them, or they're not going to suddenly get millions of emails coming through their system. So always have a privacy policy on there. I mean, it can be as simple as, you know, I hate spam, like this guy's got here, I hate spam as much as you do, therefore we will never sell, rent, or give away your email address. So it's really important to have that peace of mind sort of pledge on there. And just some key recommendations for you, you know, when it comes to your website and doing opt-in boxes, I would really recommend seeking professional help. You can do them yourself, but if you're like me and not at all tech savvy, you probably want to get some professional help. So I would really consider doing that. Simple WordPress site. This comes as standard with them. You know, you could get a basic site with an opt-in box from anything from $500 to $1,000, maybe even less if you went on to sort of Elance or one of the you know, supplier sites where people can bid for your work. You know, you'll be surprised at what people will do for you for very little cost. Keep your design really simple. Just follow those 7 steps we've got on there. Less really is more. Optimize your site using SEO. We're going to talk about that in a minute, and integrate social networking. So they're more around your website, those 2, but something to keep in mind. Now, also with your opt-in, people sometimes ask me, you know, well, how many people am I looking to opt in or go through, or what's the benchmark? So just as a bit of a rule of thumb for you and how you know, your aim in an ideal world is to have an opt-in conversion rate of 20% or more. So that means for every person who comes to your website, you want at least 20% of them in an ideal world to opt into your free giveaway. So that's just a bit of a rule of thumb. So But, industry stats say that if you've got 5% of all traffic coming to your site opting in, that's okay. 10% is pretty good, but 20% is excellent. So if you get that 20% or above, you really are into the, your offer really is hitting the mark and it's good. And don't be afraid to test different offers and different, you might start off offering subscription to a newsletter, or you might say, 10 steps to looking good this summer, or something that that your consumers will be interested in, and start building that relationship with them. Okay, so the second way to build your list and get your traffic going is organic search listings. So basically, if you went into the search engines, we'll just use Google. There is a number of other search engines out there, but Google's number one and it's the most commonly known. So I won't talk about Yahoo and Bing and all the other ones that are out there. So I'll just reference Google, but you do know it could be any search engine that this applies to. So organic search listings, which is also called SEO or search engine optimization. Now here in this space, let's just say, for instance, you were to go to your search engine and type in, weight loss. I would call that weight loss a keyword. So when I talk about keywords, it's whatever you're choosing to write into that search bar of your search engines. So say you were to type in the keywords weight loss and hit the Google search button, you'll get a new page of search results come up in your online browser, and the page will be broken up into sections. So the first few listings inside the gray shaded area at the top, those are sponsored listings. So people's actually paid to occupy that space. And they're called pay-per-click ads. But right underneath those sponsored listings are a list on a white background, and these are your organic search listings. These are listings of sites that are not paid for that naturally come up in the search engines. And search engines have a whole algorithm and way of ranking you, so deciding where you should come in the page, and it's all based on the relevancy of your offer, your authority in your site, so how long people stay when they go to your material. But I won't go into details on that tonight, that component of it, but I might do sort of a Get Web Savvy one of these and really go into the online space. But so how do you do this? So you want to think up for your business a list of keywords that match what you're offering with the words that people will type into Google or any other search engine to find your site. And then you basically just want to program these keywords into your website code or your content management system, or have your web developer do this for you, and you'll immediately increase your chances of getting more traffic. I know with my content management system, and I use a Joomla site at the moment, but I am moving to a WordPress site because Joomla content management is a little bit complicated. Both are still good options, but if I was to choose one and you don't have a website, I'd definitely choose WordPress. But in my Joomla content management site, basically when any page of copy that I've got in there, on the right hand side it's got a little box saying keywords, and these keywords that you research is where you'd put them in that box. So basically, say you are Wendy, I know you're online, so I'll use you as a bit of an example, but say, you're looking for editing services or copy editing, copywriting, you'd basically put all the keywords associated with your copy that talks to the fact that you do that in your keyword search box. But if you're not tech savvy like me, it really is cheap to get someone to do that, or get your web guy to do that for you. So start thinking of keywords and key phrases that will match your business to a search, and there are ways to find out common keyword search phrases by using tools such as Google AdWords. So if you go to Google and just search Google AdWords, it will come up. Or the one I really like is keywordspy.com, so K-E-Y word and then S-P-Y.com, and that basically allows you to search keywords worldwide, just in Australia, just by state. You can really filter down into what ones are working. So say local-based business and you really just want to target the people in the local community, you can go down to, Queensland and really get the demographic area down in keywordspy.com. So use those tools there, have a play about, and just to even think of what you would do, just even ask some people, if you were looking for my service, what would you search? What would you put in there? For my core marketing system for businesses, the Marketing Guru's Guide to Success, when people search for the solutions that this program offers, they're not searching that title. They're not using those words, or generally not using those words. They're searching, cheap ways to market your business, or how you can create a marketing plan, or how you can, get momentum in what you're doing. So they would not search the word Marketing Guru, so other keywords had to be intertwined throughout my site so I could be found. Now, I would encourage you guys to come up with a list of keywords for every single product or service or event that you create. So pick one of your offerings and start to look at popular keyword phrases for that individual product. Just take it one at a time, and if it's not your thing, you can outsource the keyword research, and you'll be able to find providers on sites like elance.com, and you might only pay like $50 to $100 to get the research done for your offerings, and then it's done. But I would say, the market's constantly changing, consumer preferences and behaviors are constantly changing. So I would revisit your keywords and go on to Keyword Spy and Google AdWords just to make sure that what you've got down as your keywords, people are still, still searching those, that criteria. Okay, so how's everyone doing? Are y'all still with me? I think the webinar went off there for a minute, but I think I've got everyone back. Can you guys just let me know that you can all hear me okay and everyone's still online? Yep. Yep, can hear. Perfect. Okay, everyone's still with me, so I will keep going through. Awesome. Okay, so we've talked to the opt-in box. We've got your organic search listings. Number 3 is, or the third way to get traffic to your business and onto your list and buying your products and services is via pay-per-click ads, or sometimes known as just PPC. Now these are those sponsored listings that are at the top of the search engines or down the right-hand side. Like when you do a Google search, they come up. So if you decide to go down this route, then you basically pay a small fee every time someone clicks on your listing. And I guess that's why they're called pay-per-click, because you pay for the click. This stream can get expensive, so you have to actually, be careful when you're implementing it, but it guarantees your business gets exposure, which organic search listings simply don't. Another advantage is you can get listed in as little as 15 minutes. So if you really want to start driving some traffic to your business and you want quick results, pay-per-click ads does give you that advantage over the organic search results, because basically money's buying you speed to get up there. And with my clients, sometimes I recommend a short burst of pay-per-click ads, because it boosts your organic search listing rankings as well. So basically, when I talked briefly before about Google ranking your site and your content and your information based on your authority and how often someone stays on your site when they click, and the relevancy of what you've got to say. So pay-per-click ads can really boost that, because it makes it look like you're more up there and you're getting the traffic coming through. So PPC, I would use it for a short burst. So say, over a 6-month period, you want to really get some momentum going. I would have your opt-in box, get your offer, get your compelling offer that's a match, do your keyword research, get your organic search listings up and running, and then boost the results with a short month or 2 months pay-per-click campaign on the keywords that you believe are of most benefit to your business and are the ones that really people will search for you. And one thing you can do to find out how people found out about you or what they search is if you remember back to last week's part 1 when we talked about identifying your ideal clients, you can simply ask them, how did you find out about us? If they did a Google search, just say to them, what did you search? I did that with a recent client that's just come on board with me, and he's actually based overseas as well. And I said to him, how did you find out about me? And he said, I Googled Marketing Guru because I was looking for an expert, and you came up as number 1. And he's actually turned into a $100,000 client for me. So it didn't cost me anything because it was organic search listings to get him. He's based overseas, but he's become a VIP consultant client, and all I did was have that keyword on my website and he found me. So it can be really powerful when you use it. And it's, once you've done that, I invested that little bit of time to get the keywords right, or invested a little bit of money for someone else to help you identify those words for your business. It can be really beneficial. And I would revisit your keywords and everything, like I said, in the organic search listings section. Every quarter, keep looking at them to make sure they're relevant and still hitting the mark in terms of what your consumers are searching. Okay, now the 4th way to get traffic and get growing is via social networking. So these are, your typical Facebook, Twitter, and all those social sites that, people are engaged in these days. So I know this one is obvious, but I'm not talking here about sharing pictures and announcing how amazing, your workout was at the gym, or making sure your relationship status, has been changed to it's complicated. That stuff is great, but you do want to have that personality coming through, because like we say, personality is power and it sets you apart, but it means nothing if you're not using social media strategically. So you've got to actually think, how can I use social media, or Facebook, for example, let's focus on that, to grow my list and get traffic to my business. And that's when social networking becomes a completely different animal, or a completely different way of doing things. And now, just talk to Facebook for a second. With Facebook, you can categorize people into groups. So you can have a group of all your family and your friends and the people you went to school with that you do share, your latest, weekend antics, or what your relationship status is, or what you have for tea. But then you can also have your professional groups, or your clients that are in another category that maybe don't see a lot of that stuff, don't see 100% of your personal, but it really does focus on the business side of things, and how you can use that channel to add value to them, to grow and get them, to your website, or coming into your store, or whatever action you want them to take. So if you want to start seeing social media as a business tool, you need to start thinking of it differently, and ask yourself a few questions. Now, I should have put these questions up on a slide. I didn't, sorry, but you are getting the recording, so if you don't get them all down, you can listen to them over again. But the first question to ask yourself is, how can I promote interactive discussions with my followers? How can you really get them engaged in what's going on for you? The second is, how can I convert my followers into paying customers? So it's one thing to have a whole heap of fans or people that like you, but it's quite another thing to get them actually engaged with you and ready to, trust you enough to purchase. As I said, marketing is about getting consumers with a need to know, like, and trust you more. So when they're ready to buy, they'll buy from you over anyone else that does or sells or provides what you provide. So how can you convert your followers into paying customers? Start to think about these questions. How can I attract more customers? And social networking is really powerful in this, because you've got the opportunity to not only target who you're friends with and who you have connections with, but also other people's. So if you can get content up there that they really resonate with and they start sharing, that's when it really starts to go viral, and that's when you can get your message in front of other people and start to attract more prospects, and then in turn customers to your business. The fourth question to ask yourself is, what are my actual numbers for my social media use. So, how many people do you actually have on Facebook who are actively engaged in your business, who maybe are on your mailing list if you do mailings to your client base? In fact, one thing that's just come to me, if you do have a mailing list just for your existing clients, I would seriously consider getting a prospect mailing list. So you're also mailing those people who have showed an interest in your service, but they might not have actually, started to buy from you yet. But you want to build the relationship. Like we said, you're courting them to trust you enough to buy from you. So if you do mailings or send out offers or latest things coming up, make sure you send it to what I call prospects, or those who haven't yet made the jump to buy from you, because people need to see something 8 times before it'll become familiar to them and it'll actually entice them to take action. So the more you can get in front of your potential clients, the more likely they are to choose you. So yeah, what are my actual numbers for my social media use? So yeah, who's actually buying from you from those channels? Who's actually engaged with you? Who's on your list? Start looking at that. Or is it just really that you've got the connections, but at this point in time, they're not leveraged? And that's okay if they're not. At least you've got some goals about where you want to take it. And what other social media channels should I be using? And there's a million out there now. There's the usual Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but there's also Pinterest and a whole heap of other social networking sites coming through. And this is where really understanding who your ideal target client is. You might service everybody, but once you narrow to know that one person you're talking to, and you really understand, what excites them, where they get their information, the groups and communities they're part of, you might find that your clients aren't actually on Facebook. They're on Pinterest, or they're really into photos and art, so they're on the sites that talk to them rather than where you're looking. Or they might be really professional people and they're on LinkedIn. So really your whole social networking strategy should focus on building your LinkedIn profile and connections through there. Once you've answered these questions, I would develop I'll just say a Facebook content strategy and calendar, but it could basically be your social networking content strategy and calendar. And this could include, weekly, monthly, and quarterly offers or campaigns, and fun engagement strategies or weekly posts. And keep it simple and keep it fun and lighthearted. It's social networking, but have regular posts that people look forward to seeing, like Can Do Tuesdays, or Financial Freedom Fridays, or Learn More Mondays, or, Top Tips Tuesday, where you give the latest trends, or, just something fun that you found out. And I would just keep it really simple initially, then expand. And as a general rule of thumb, if you really want to use this strategy and drive it as a way to get traffic, do 1 or 2 posts or comments per day. And remember, it really is quality, not quantity. So quality, not quantity. So if you don't have anything to say, don't worry about it. But another trick or way to get engagement on Facebook is to share a picture. You know how sometimes there's these funny pictures, and I don't know, it could be of a cat or anything. Share the picture and ask a question off the back of the picture. So you might say something like, saw this, thought it was hilarious. Do you agree? What does this bring up for you? And when you ask a question, your community will start to answer it. And then once they answer it, their community sees it and they will start to pass an opinion. So if you can forward on pictures or content or things that are going to get engagement and ask a question off the back of it, people will respond and you'll start to get that viral sharing and it'll all link back to you. So yeah, maybe get on Facebook and see what other people are sharing and the photos they like, and start, paying it forward, sharing them as well, but putting that all important question on the back of it, because you really want to get the engagement. You want as many people talking about your site as possible, because the more people who are talking about it, the more people who are seeing it, and the more likely they are to then divert to your website, or just Google your business name in general, or come into your store, whatever channels you use. So that's some tips to really get people engaged and talking about what you do. So social networking can be a really powerful way to get traffic. And this isn't on my presentation, but I am a huge advocate of social networking and using those channels, but use them correctly and with purpose, and have your calendar. A lot of people say, like my clients say to me, I go to them, so what did you do this week? And they were like, oh, I went on Facebook every day and I spent 4 hours a day on there, and they're not really doing anything. They're like caught up in the moment of reading everyone else's statuses, and, get on there, make your posts, have a bit of a connection, and then get off there. And, depending on where you are in your business or what type of business you have, nothing beats actual face-to-face networking. So, once a month or however frequent you can do it, get yourself off to a local community group or event and start connecting with people, because, like we said, people buy from people they like, and you want to get your personality out there, especially if you are, for want of a better word, a faceless business, i.e. you don't have a shop or a store, you're an online provider, or your services, you don't have offices or a way to connect. It's good to just get out from behind the computer and get your face out there and known. So it's not in here, but social networking is fantastic. I'm a huge advocate. It gives you leverage. You can reach a huge audience because, it's worldwide, but also add in some of that face-to-face and connect with people on a one-on-one basis, because it really does work. And and if you're only doing it once or twice a month, and you've got your groups and things that you love, then I would definitely add that in there. So these basically are what I call the strategies for list growth that are going to give you the steady growth. Do you know what I mean? So you're not going to bang overnight have, a huge list, a heap of clients, but it's what is going to give you that consistent flow of customers coming through. So I always say, think of your marketing and your lead generation strategy like a table. So a traditional table, because I know there's all these like new tables out there that don't have 4 legs, but think of a traditional table, for it to stand up and function as a table, it needs 4 legs. So your business is no different. If you think of your business as the tabletop, and you need 4 legs to generate, your leads and get that, new customer acquisition coming through and people understanding your business, you have to have 4 different ways to get that through. So here, you might have an opt-in website, you might use organic search listings using keyword research to drive traffic, you might put quarterly bursts of pay-per-click ads to boost your numbers, you'll have an active social networking and, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever social media channels are right for you strategy. And on my tables, if you really want to recession-proof your business, I recommend you have 6 legs. So, we're going to talk about one of them at the moment. But when you have all these different channels or way to get leads coming through, when you have all these ways to get people coming through and different strategies, if one of them was to fall down, if Facebook was to disappear tomorrow and that channel was no more for you, you've still got 3 other ways, or in my 6-legged table, you've still got 5 other ways the business is coming to you. And these steady growth ones are really good because you're building your reputation, building your name. But once you get those up and running, you should also set up what I call regular big injections of new list members. These are what I heard a mentor call your fast gushers. So you might do one of these quarterly, but you're going to get a big influx of people to your business. It could be an event, it could be affiliate, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to talk to you about my favorite one in a minute. But before I do that, how's everyone going? How long have I been talking for? So I've been talking for a good 45 minutes. Is everyone still with me? Everyone fine? Any questions, comments, feedback? I'll take a drink of water while you guys are thinking about it. And Amanda, you will be happy to know, because I can see you're online, that I figured out how to use the comments box this time. And everyone's saying to me, thanks, Rachel, makes sense, all good, loving it, perfect. Okay, good. Well, because we've only got 15 minutes left, and one more thing to get through, I will keep going. Everyone's fine. Good. Really appreciate the advice. Facebook. Oh, good, Alison. I'm glad you found that that helpful. Perfect. Okay. So, like I said, now you've got the 4 strategies to give you the steady growth and just something every business should be doing in the background. We now need to add in those big gushes of new list members, which really just going to give you a boost. And I cover all of these in detail in Series 1 of my program, The Marketing Guru's Guide to Success. But here's my favorite big gusher now, or I really have to come up with a different name for it, but it really is creating that flood of business. Flood of business to your business. And that is the slide going to work? Yep, joint venture partnerships. So joint venture partnerships are one of the most powerful lead generation strategies around. And in fact, over the last 12 months, I have built my whole business on joint venture partnerships with predominantly 3 core partners. But it's so phenomenal, and each partner brings me about $250,000 in business in the last 8 months. That's how much I get from each of them. So it's really great and powerful lead generation tool. It basically gives you ultimate leverage because you've got essentially other people doing your marketing for you. You've got instant access to your core target audience. This is why step 1, know who your ideal target client is. So even if your product, service, whatever is applicable to everybody in the country or the world, there will be that one person or that one type of customer that you just say to yourself, oh my God, if I had 10 more of these customers, life would be fantastic. I would be living the dream, business would be great. And like we talked about last week, it could be anything. It could be that they spend the most money, or it could be just that they're really pleasant to be around, or they pay their bills on the time. But, knowing your ideal target client and knowing what they value and care about, where they get their information, will help you decide or determine who your joint venture partnerships should be with. But basically the benefits, instant access to your core target audience. And the really important one that money can't buy is its borrowed credibility from the partner that's endorsing you. Who on this call this evening or on this webinar wouldn't consider a supplier or someone recommended by their accountant? I know in my accountant, if I need a service or something or a solution, my accountant says to me, oh, you should probably check out this company. I've heard they're really good. I'm going to check out that company, because if I am, my accountant, for instance, because I love what he does, he helps me, structure my business and pay less tax and all these great things that we want to do when we're a business owner. So why wouldn't I trust him? So this is the power that joint venture partnerships have, because you've got that borrowed credibility from the partner that's endorsing you. It's almost like when someone else says you're good, it's far more believable than when you say you're good yourself, which is why, as we talked about last week, getting credibility elements like testimonials and everything for your business is so important, because, it's more trustworthy when someone else rates you than when you rate yourself. So with joint ventures, there's 4 essential goals you want to achieve. So the first is obviously access to another business's client base. You're looking for non-competing businesses who have already captured your market. So a joint venture is basically 2 businesses coming together for mutual benefit. So they could serve the same market as you, or have a product that complements what you do. So they could say your core target client is life coaches or mind, body, spirit coaches or something like that. You might want to partner with someone who also has them as their core target client, but they're offering a different service. So it's that non-compete. You're not competing with them. You don't have the same product or service, but you both are going after that group. Or have a product that complements what you do. So what example can I give for that? Like a gardener and pool cleaner springing to mind at the moment. But, you know, if you've got a pool and you've got a garden and you get your garden service, you know, you might want to recommend the pool cleaner or someone else that can build on that. But so the 4 goals you want to achieve is access to another business's client base. Whatever you set up with that partner, you want to capture the information the traffic created. So say, for instance, you said to your accountant, you know, I've got this product. I'd love to offer your clients a free consultation or a free trial service or a sample, or invite them to an intro evening or a styling evening or whatever it might be. You want to you're offering something of value to their clients, and the accountant goes, that's great, my client's going to love this. He sends an endorsed letter to his database going, you know, we work with the best providers we can find in the industry, and, you know, we know it's a tough time of the year and everyone's, you know, a bit stressed out. So as a special thank you or gift or whatever to you, we'd like to invite you to this wine tasting evening or fashion event or whatever it might be. And those who respond, so they're probably going to respond back to the joint venture partnership, but you want to make sure you also get that information that the traffic created, because the ones who respond, it's a bit like they're opting into your list. Those are the ones who are most likely to be receptive to your offer or whatever it is that you're selling or servicing. So make sure when you set up your joint venture partnership that you make sure that you get access to the traffic that the information has created. The 3rd goal is you want to build a long-term relationship with the partner. So make sure whatever you're doing or however you're structuring the partnership, that it's win-win. So there's something in it for the partner and there's something in it for you. And make sure, you know, common courtesy, again, you're building the relationship, so you follow up with them, you check in, you say thank you to them, like just little common courtesy things. But sometimes, you know, for right or wrong, you know, through no fault of our own, we get caught up in what we're doing and we forget, you know, to acknowledge, you know, or even say, oh my God, thanks for doing that mailing, or, you know, thanks for giving me that testimonial. Do you know, I got like 4 new clients off the back of that. Really great. Is there anything I can do for you? Or, you know, we'll talk about the things you can do in a minute. And then, of course, a goal is to make sales. So you obviously want to, you know, get some income from these partnerships. And this, you know, this is in the big gush section. So say you were to do a quarterly event for your joint venture partners database, and you make an offer or a sale or you're doing something, you're going to get that instant cash flow coming through. So it's really is powerful strategy. So potential, we've already talked about the benefit, but yeah, ultimate leverage gets your marketing working for you, and of course the borrowed credibility, which is a really big one. I think everyone's fine, so I'm not going to check in. I'm just going to keep going because I'm conscious of the time, but feel free to ask me a question, and you know, if yeah, you want to check in, let me know. I'll look at questions at the end. But I'm just going to keep going for now. So, I thought I had another slide, but I don't have it. So anyway, I'll just talk to this because my slide has dropped off. But anyway, potential partner sources. So who could you have a joint venture partner with? So the first one is, you know, professional service providers. So think of, in your own business, all the people you use around you. So they could be accountants, bookkeepers, banks, real estate agents, insurance companies, you know, retailers, your local news agent, your favorite store, restaurant, community notice boards. Just, these are all the places that you can think of partnerships. You know, if you're a beauty salon, you might want to go into partnership with a hairdresser, or, you know, just think of all of those people that would service the same client as yours, or think of the people who come into contact with your business. What other services do they need? Do you know what I mean? You know, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to a beauty salon, you're going to want to go and get your hair done as well. So that's, you know, a perfect match together there. And next week I'm going to talk to you about how to create a flood of referrals to your business and really get that referral strategy up and running. And I'll tell you about a client of mine who actually implemented a referral strategy but turned it into a joint venture partnership with the local hairdresser, and just the knock-on effect that had in the business it generated. And it became a very fruitful partnership for both of them, using a strategy that cost $60, and the return was phenomenal. So we'll talk about that next week. But so there's professional services, there's retailers, even charities and community groups. Again, you know, we talked about it last week. Find out where your target clients hang out. And if they all hang out at the surf club, or they all hang out at, you know, the Chamber of Commerce or a certain cooking school or whatever they're into, book club, you want to make sure you're there and talking to the people and saying, you know what, I'd like to offer something of value to your clients. Even place of employment. You know, if there's a local a big office building that's got heaps of employees in there. You know, if you're a hairdresser or something, you might, you might want to make an offer to all the employees in that business to try out your service. You know, you'd have to go through HR and ask, but, these are all the sort of potential partner sources you need to think about. And if you do that target client research that we talked about in week 1, you will know exactly where to look for your, your potential partner sources. And in terms of potential communications, there's various things you can do, from preparing an article and an offer to go in their newsletter if they have one, or providing them with a leaflet and a business card, directing them to your website to opt into your free download. You could even just ask them to do the endorsed mailing to their clients, and that you will do the same. So almost like a letter of introduction, and you can maybe do a special rate or offer or discount for clients from that company. You know, you might say, come to our open evening, or come this Thursday night and get, 10% off anything you buy in store or anything you order, whatever it is for you. Or if you provide a service, you might say, your first one's on us. Whatever makes sense for you to do in terms of your offer. And you could hold special events just for their clients, so a closed-door event where they get access to you, your business, and it's just for their clients only, like an exclusive event just for them. So there's a number of potential communications that you could do, and partner sources available to you. And like I say, this is the number one way I've grown my business. I know it works. And you should aim to do something quarterly at a bare minimum with your with your potential partner sources or your joint venture partners. And then each quarter, you're going to have that big gush of business coming through, and everyone else, your steady streams of your SEO and your PPC and your opt-in, your social media leverage. And if you take some of the more offline strategies and get out to networking events, maybe do some local advertising, they will all boost these big gushes that are coming through. And I guess as a closing tip, just remember, it's about building the relationship. You really want to make sure whatever you set up is win-win, and your aim is to build a long-term relationship with your partner. So definitely keep that in mind as you go forward. Okay, so I think I've been talking for ages now, and which is great. There's so much content to get through, and you can put so much into these hours. But that essentially concludes the basics on how to get traffic to your business and grow a list of quality prospects to get, that all-important income coming through. So how's everyone doing? Any comments, questions, feedback? Let me know. Oh, that's great. We're sort of bang on 8 o'clock. Now, where did my comments box go? Okay, I think everyone's saying great. Thank you. Good tips. Love the joint venture. Perfect. Just while I'm looking at the comments coming through. And if you've got any questions as well, please let me know. I'll answer those too. But basically, while they're coming through, part 3, Get Marketing Savvy, the Basics part 3, we're going to look at how to build strong relationships with your clients and how to convert your clients into raving fans. So we have a bit of a week's break. Next week I'm going to be relaxing in Bali and fly out on Friday, which I'm very excited about, and I'm going to be finishing my Kindle book, which Amazon has been on at me to get done. So Bali is where I'm going to focus and get it done. So I just have to come back and get it edited and we're good to go. So because of that, the final session to this 3-part webinar series is actually going to be in 2 weeks' time and on Wednesday, the 31st of October at 7 o'clock. So this is where we'll be completing the basics of what we've gone through and really looking at how you get those leads and relationships working for you, and then when they become clients, turn them into raving fans. So again, it's a strong way to grow your list. Sorry about that. So really enjoyed it, given me great inspiration. Can't wait till next webinar. Oh, thanks, Alison. Yep, perfect. Thank you. Loved it. Cheers. Awesome. And yeah, one thing, if you have found this valuable, please feel free to tell your friends and any colleagues or any other business owners you know, because we have recorded the first 2 sessions. So anyone who signs up for the webinar will also get sent the recordings and of course can jump on to part 3 in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, thanks everyone for the Bali wishes. I'm going to have a great time, which will be awesome. You know, you just need a break sometimes, so that's where I'm at the moment. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone. The recording will be coming your way in the next couple of days, and I look forward to connecting with you all again in a couple of weeks. Have a great few weeks. Thanks, and bye.